Today we're talking about notes on the staff in treble clef and a little bit of rhythmic notation. So the first thing that we need to know are, where are the notes on the staff? Well, when we are in treble clef, which is the clef that we have been using, this second line here is G. Everything else we can base off that. We use our musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we start over. Now, as we go up and down the staff, we get the next note or the previous note. As we go higher, the next note here is A, then B, then C, so on and so forth. You follow the musical alphabet. If we were to go backwards, the note before would be F, and the bottom line would be E. This is the basis of how we learn treble clef music. You have to know these notes on the staff. Now, after you get through the notes on the staff, then you have to expand out to above and below. So the last note we knew in treble clef was here, the first line, E. Below that, we follow the alphabet still, just backwards. This note would be D. We've run out of space. What do we do next? We have to expand the staff. We use lines called ledger lines. These lines, you're including extras on the staff so that you know where the notes are. They do not extend the entire way across. They're just for that single note. So here would be C. Underneath the ledger line would be B, A, G. 3 lines would be F. And then underneath 3 lines would be E. So E, D, 1 line is C, below the line is B, 2 lines is A, below the line is G, 3 lines is F, and then below the 3rd line would be E, which is the lowest note on your standard 6-string guitar. This is your lowest note on a violin. So expanding below. Going above the staff is the exact same way. We start with the last note we knew, which was F, 5th line. As we go up above, G. We've run out of space. We add a line. A, above the line. B, 2 lines. C, above 2 lines. D, 3 lines. E. Violins, this is the harmonic on your E string. Guitar, this is the 12th fret on your E string. This is how we expand above. All right, let's talk about rhythm. So rhythm is the other side of the coin when we're talking about notes. We have the notes on the staff, but the rhythm is the duration of the notes, how long each one lasts. Now, the basic note that we use to start out with, well, we have to know how to construct them. This oval part of a note is called the note head. The line is called the stem. This is called the flag if you need one. And if you have multiple of those type of notes or others, you may have a beam. Depending on the length of the note head could be filled in or empty. This tells you information. Each one of these little things is slightly different. What we have here is what we call the tree of rhythm. The top is your longest sounding note, and the bottom are your shorter sounding notes. When we start out, this here is a whole note. It lasts for 4 beats. So if you have a beat, it would last for 4 clicks and stop on the 5th. It can be divided into half notes. There are 2. Each one lasts 2 beats. Each half note can be divided into quarter notes. Each quarter note lasts 1 beat. And then each quarter note can be divided into 1/8 notes. Each 1/8 note lasting half of a beat in this beginning time. Now if you notice, these 1/8 notes all look slightly different. The idea is that you're counting the note heads, not how they're combined so much. There are 8 1/8 notes. Each 1/8 note lasts half of a beat. 1/8 notes can be signified by flag or beamed together in 2 or 4. On the same side of the idea of rhythm, you also have rests. Rests take up time, but they are silent time. Notes produce sound, rests are silent. On the top of the tree, we have the whole rest, then the half rest, then the quarter rest, then the 1/8 rest. Same idea as the notes. Whole rest lasts for 4, half for 2, quarter for 1, 1/8 for a half of a beat. The whole rest hangs below the line. The half rest sits above the line. Now for a little bit of musical math. So you'll see many more examples like this. You just have to add the values together and then tell me what is that type of note. How long does it last? What type of note? 2 half notes added together. How long does a half note last? 2 beats each. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. What type of note gets 4 beats? The whole note. 2 quarter notes added together. A quarter is worth 1 beat, so total of 2. The half note. 2 1/8 notes added together. Each 1/8 note is half of a beat. When you add those 2 halves, you get the quarter note, or 1 beat. And then the tricky one, a quarter note is 1. There's 2 1/8 notes here, each a half beat. So you have a total of 2 beats, which is the half note. Now look carefully. This is not a single note because there are 2 note heads there. So that means there are 2 values that you have to add together with the first value. Counting rhythms. There's a couple other little things that we need. First, this is a time signature. The time signature tells us how many beats are in each measure, this being a measure, and what type of note gets one beat. The easiest way to think of this, there are 4 quarters, 4 quarter notes in each measure. The quarter note is 1 beat long. So whenever we're thinking about measures, we have to make sure in this example that there are 4 beats in every measure. When we count quarter notes, easy enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we had a beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple. There are different ways that you will see half notes counted. I use the 1-2, 3-4 method, signifying that those beats are combined. 1-2, 3-4, off. So here we have this measure. How would we count this? Well, you always have to start with 1. At the beginning of a measure, you have to have beat 1. You never start with 3, 4, or anything like that at the beginning of a measure. So this is beat 1. This is beat 2. And then the half note is beat 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3-4, off. And then finally the whole note, 1-2, 3-4.